Hello, my name is Chris Klein. I'm 13 years old, and I would like to share with you how OPCs has impacted my life. In my opinion, patients are the real experts of how they feel and what can make them feel better. I've been diagnosed with ADHD and OCD, which has made my life very stressful. ADHD is like living in a fast-paced kaleidoscope where thoughts, images, and sounds are constantly shifting, which makes my life very confusing and stressful. OCD constantly makes my mind feel like everything that I do has to be perfect, which makes it very difficult for myself to complete tasks in a timely fashion and makes me lose a lot of sleep. To treat these disorders, if you will, I've been trying a lot of medications, including Ritalin, starting off in Ritalin, and ending on Lovox. However, I've had there's side effects to each one of those medications that I've been tried on. Since then, my mom has asked doctors if it would be okay if I try OPCs to help with my disorders. They said yes. Since then, I haven't had any panic attacks. I do my homework in 2 hours instead of 7, and I haven't had to use my inhaler or any other allergy medications that I had to in the past. Since now, I think I have my life back. Personally, I give a big thumbs up to OPCs.
Hi, my name is Andrew, and I have been asked to share my story with you. I was diagnosed with ADD when I was in grade school, and on top of that, I also have epilepsy. I have always had problems with concentrating in school, and my grades were nothing to be proud of. I have always had problems with my brothers and sisters. I often felt aggressive and angry, and I did not know why. My parents tried putting me on drugs like Ritalin and other stuff, but the side effects really sucked. Because of my other problems, I began to experience more seizures. I also lost my appetite, and when I did eat, I got sick to my stomach. We experimented with other drugs, but it seemed that the side effects were worse than the problems associated with my ADD. We finally gave up on a drug working for me and just tried to get along as best as I could. Then about 6 months ago, a friend of ours suggested to my parents that I try taking a combination of supplements that were derived from pine bark and grape seeds in an enzyme formula. Little did we know at that time what incredible changes were to come into my life. I noticed that the very next day, for the first time in my life, I could concentrate and study better than I ever could before taking the supplements. As a result, I am now in the honor roll at school. This blew my principal's mind, as he always remembered me as a problem student. Everyone around me comments on how much better I'm doing in school, and that's both in studies and in my social life. I no longer feel aggressive or angry. I cannot tell you what it has meant to me and my family to have these supplements to help me out. I have even noticed a major decrease in my seizures. My whole family and I will be forever grateful to the person who brought these supplements into my life because of the very wonderful changes it has made. Now I want to share my story with others and hope that somebody else like me will get the same results I did.
A year ago, I went to the doctor for a routine pap smear, and the doctor's office called back, and I had a condition that was abnormal, and it was called dysplasia, and the degree of it was moderate to severe. If you're not familiar with what dysplasia is, it's an abnormality of the cells, precancerous, and it usually is on the cervix. The doctor sent me to a gynecologist and said, the gynecologist gave me a biopsy. And the biopsy got sent off to a lab, and when it came back, it confirmed the results, moderate to severe dysplasia. I had a consultation with the doctor, and he said that he recommended that I have an operation called a conectomy that would remove all these cells plus a rim of normal cells around it to make sure that he got it all. And he stressed that cervical cancer was really deadly and very aggressive, and I didn't want to mess with it. And in my case, because it was severe, he thought that I should have this particular type of surgery. I went ahead and had that and went along on my merry way. And 3 months later, I had to go get a follow-up pap smear. So I went for the pap smear, and he called, and he had some bad news. The dysplasia had returned in a moderate to severe form again. I wasn't was very upset about this. I had a lot of cancer in the family. I've also had a problem with my immune system for the last 20 years, which made it much more likely that I was going to have a reoccurrence or problems. At that point, he recommended that I have my cervix and uterus removed. And my other doctor said to do it quickly. Both of them really emphasized how terrible this was and that I should do it soon. So I did schedule the operation for 6 weeks from then. And in 2 weeks, my husband and I ran into an old friend that we hadn't seen in years, and he told us about a product, a supplement called OPC, which was a bioflavonoid, all natural. And a lot of his friends and family had taken this supplement and recovered from really devastating diseases. He talked about somebody that had fibromyalgia, osteoporosis, a stroke, and leukemia, and hepatitis C, and that had varying degrees of improvement and sometimes huge and complete turnarounds. I just thought it sounded too good to be true, but I really trusted this man. I'd known him for a long time, and I didn't know him to be an exaggerator or a liar, so I tried it. I went and bought the OPC and another supplement, and I started taking it. The operation was getting closer, and I was getting calls from the office that I should order my painkillers, IV painkillers, because I was going to be home shortly after the surgery. And I just was not sleeping at night and not feeling good about the whole situation. So I called the doctor, and I told him what I was doing and told him I wanted to give these supplements a chance, and asked him how dangerous it would be to wait a month. He said a month would be okay, but don't wait 3 months. He wouldn't recommend it. So I took the OPC for the next 4 weeks. So for a total of 6 weeks, I took these supplements. I went back for the biopsy, and I got a call within a week from the doctor, and he left a message. The other times that he had left a message, I never wanted to call him back. My husband had to prod me to, because he'd just say, "This is Dr. So-and-so, and I need you to call me," and it didn't sound good. But this time he said, "Jean, I've got good news. You need to call me." Oh, my heart leapt when he said that. So I dialed the phone quickly, and I asked him, and he said, when he answered the phone, he said, "I'm baffled, but I'm pleased. The dysplasia is gone, and you no longer need the surgery." I was so happy and excited, and now I'm going on vacation in 2 weeks, and I'm going to a family reunion. Instead of using my vacation strapped to an IV bag, I can tell you I'm really going to enjoy this family reunion much more than you can imagine, because I'm so grateful that I didn't end up in that other situation. The other difficulties that I've had with my health and my immune system, I see an improvement, and I'm also very encouraged that my immune system will continue to strengthen, and that I feel I've got a hedge against cancer. When I first had the diagnosis, I felt utterly powerless. I said, my cells have gone wacky, I eat pretty good, I sleep at night, what else can I do? And now I really feel like I've got more tools in my arsenal to keep myself well and to keep myself going stronger.
Hello, my name is Ann, and I started taking OPCs about 4 years ago for my allergy problems. I've had allergies ever since I was a child. I first really noticed it because of being around the neighbor's rose bush, and my eyes swelled shut. And then throughout my life, I went through taking the shots, did the test, took every prescription available, it seemed like. And of course, even though they relieve your symptoms, you still feel lousy, and they have side effects. After taking OPCs, I started noticing a difference probably in about 2 weeks. And that first spring that I was on them, I went through the spring allergy-free, and I just could hardly believe it. And it's been now almost 4 years. I'm still allergy-free. And the wonderful thing about taking OPCs for allergies is that it's like you don't have allergies. It's not like you're taking medicine and getting rid of some of the symptoms. It's like you no longer have allergies. Some side benefits that I received that I didn't even expect to have were that for about 3 years before I started taking OPCs, I had almost chronic bladder infections. I noticed that I'm not having bladder infections anymore. Another thing that women will really appreciate is I was really developing a lot of spider veins on my right thigh, and those have gone away to the extent that now there's only about a fourth as many. I expect they're going to be all gone before long.
Hi, my name is Dan. I'm 46 years old and I've had allergies all my life. I first discovered allergies when I was approximately 10 years old. I tried to mow a lawn for the neighbor while they were on vacation, and after I went up and down the rows twice, I couldn't see and was sneezing. It was really bad. So that was my introduction to allergies. And so I lived with that my whole life. I resisted taking drugs and various things for allergies. I did take antihistamines, and that helped with the symptoms, but I still had the allergies. And so about a year ago, a friend of mine introduced me to OPCs. And so I started taking it. Mainly I was worried about long-term health because both of my parents have passed on, one from cancer and one from heart disease, so I was more worried about long-term health. And after about 2 weeks, I discovered that I could be in a home with a pet. I had trouble with animal dander and pollens with grasses and crops and things like that on farms. So pretty much all of it I had trouble with. And so what I found was all of a sudden those problems disappeared. And now I can mow a lawn. I don't have to look like an astronaut when I mow the lawn with masks and take antihistamines and take showers afterwards and change clothes. I don't have to do that anymore. I just go out and mow the lawn like any other normal person, and it's great. It's given me my life back as far as my activities outside, and I don't have to worry about watching a baseball game. If I want to sit on the grass, I can, and I could never do that my whole life.